This video is going to show you how to go through and graph an inequality. Alright, so your first step is to determine the x and y intercepts. And we're just going to pretend like this is an equation temporarily so we can determine that. Okay, so my y-intercept is where x is 0. My x-intercept is where y is 0. So if I plug this in, it's really easy. In this case, I get 0, 10, and 10, 0. So whenever different equations will give you different things. So you got to plug it in and solve for it. This is just a pretty easy one to do in my head. Alright, so I'm then going to graph those intercepts. So 0, 10, and 10, 0. My second step is to look at the inequality. So this inequality is a greater than sign. So because it's a greater than sign, we're going to have a dashed line. This is because we're not including the values that are on that line. So if I were to plug in a point that's on this line, that's going to make the inequality false. Alright, so let's just look at one. Let's look at 2, 8. So if I put the coordinate 2, 8 in, 2 plus 8 is equal to 10, and 10 is not greater than 10. Okay, so the points living on the line are actually going to be false points. They do not work because of the greater than sign. Okay, lastly, we need to do a test point. So just like with the single variable inequalities, I like to try to use 0, 0 when I can. So if I plug in 0 plus 0, is that going to be greater than 10? Okay, it is not. 0 is not greater than 10. So that coordinate makes that false. So just like we did on the simple inequalities, we're going to shade away from the point that was false. Okay, so I'm going to get my highlighter, and basically all of these points over here are going to work. So if I were to choose any of these coordinates kind of to the right and above that line, they would be true. So let's just pick one that's even off the grid here. So this is 10. So I'm going to go to 12, 6. That's somewhere over here. If I plug in 12 plus 6, because my coordinate would be 12, 6, that would fall in this yellow here, because the yellow goes on forever and ever, then I would have a true statement because 18 is bigger than 10. And that's how I would graph that equation.